Hello, my name is Leo, and welcome to a new day of the Elder Scrolls Arena. We're fast traveling to the Vow. We'll get there sometime in the future. But in the meantime, we've got things to talk about, and particularly things about Japan. Because obviously, I'm staying in Japan at the moment. And there's just some things that I've been noticing about Japan that are a little bit different to how things go on in Australia. One of them is packaging. Now, generally speaking, when you look at a package, like a packet of potato chips or a can of Coke or something like that, usually it shows you the size, like the portion size of that particular package. In Australia, generally, food stuffs come in grams or kilograms, usually grams. And liquids come in a milliliter amount. So, a can of Coke is, I think it's 300 and something mil. Usually, like a bottle of Coke is like 500 mil or 1.5 liters, something like that. And then potato chips, you might have your really small potato chips that are like 60 grams, and you've got your bigger ones that are like 300 or 600 grams. I've never seen a 1 kilo bag of potato chips before, but I'd love to just sit there and eat a kilo of potato chips. That'd be insane, yeah, it would be. But yeah, so, that's just, it's part and parcel that, it would tell you. The other thing that supermarkets do in Australia, I believe it's by law, is that all pricing is, it has the price of the item, plus it also has a unit price, which, let's say you've got a bottle of Coke and it's, let's say it's $1.50 for 1.5 liters of, Pepsi or whatever. Then it will say, it'll say $1.50 for the bottle, but then it'll also say $1 per liter. Does it do it in liters? I think, well, in that case it would be liters. I think usually it would be in milliliters. But then in that case it'd be weird. It'd be like 1,500 cents per. Yeah, that'd be weird. No, it's $1 per liter, which makes it really easy when you're comparing the prices of products, which is what it should. That's the way it should be. Japanese grocery stores don't really do that, so it makes it a bit more difficult. But you can still work it out. You can take the price of the item. Let's say, again, let's use the example of a 1.5 liter bottle of water, of Pepsi. So it's a 1.5 liters, and it's $1.50. You can do the math in your head to work. Well, I mean, I'm using a really easy example that it's $1 per liter. Now, there's a problem though, because the way I guess it's. I mean, it must be a law in Australia. You have to show the size of the packet, whether it be in grams or milliliters or liters or whatever. You have to say how much of the product there is inside the package. In Japan, apparently you don't really need to. Like, I've got this bottle of water here. Does it even say it's 500 ml? Yes, it does. It says it's 555 ml. Okay. Well, that time, generally speaking, with drinks, it does say how much it is. Generally speaking. But the big problem that I've noticed is with things like snacks, like potato chips, chocolate, things of that nature. They don't show like how much it is. So when you're comparing like two packets of potato chips, and the prices are very similar, and the package size is very similar, but in actual fact one has more product than the other one, because one of them is just a giant empty bag with a tiny amount of potato chips down the bottom. but it doesn't say how much, like, doesn't say in grams how much is in it. So you are lured in, like, you are tricked into thinking it's a big packet of potato chips when you open it up, and it's probably got the same amount of potato chips as a small packet of potato chips would if it was completely full. It's really, like, dodgy misrepresentation, and it's a pain in the ass, honestly. There's another point that I'll bring up today as well about Japan, is that there is a consumption tax. In Australia, we have what's called GST. I didn't know it was this much, but Blackjack told me that it's actually 10%. But the GST only applies to goods and services that are not luxury, but non-essential. So things like bread, milk, I think eggs count in there, are essential, well, are classed as essential things, and you don't actually pay GST on them. You pay GST on, like, you know, TVs and stuff, and chocolate and luxury items and things like that. Right, fair enough. In Japan, they've got the consumption tax. Now, previously it was actually only 5%. As of the 1st of April, it's increased to 8%, and it will jump to 10% sometime next year. I think September next year. Now the thing about in Australia is we don't even. I totally forgot that the GST even existed, because all prices on tickets and anywhere you see it, it is inclusive of GST. When you get, like, your phone bill and your electricity bill, it does break it down. It's got, like, the total, which is inclusive of GST, and then it also shows you how much the GST was. So you can subtract that and work out how much it was exclusive of GST. But generally speaking, we always think of prices and amounts of money as inclusive of the tax, which makes it a lot easier when you're looking at a menu and you say, okay, this steak is $30. I should get $30 out cash to pay for this steak. In Japan, it totally doesn't work like that. You can advertise your ticket prices, your menus, whatever you want, exclusive of GST. So, like, a good example is we go to this nice Chinese restaurant that does really good gyoza, and it is advertised as 200 yen or $2 for a plate of 6 gyoza. And I'm like, alright, $2, that's pretty cool. Then you get to the counter, and it's like, no, actually, it's 210 yen. This is back when it was 5%. Obviously, it's more than that now. It's actually 210 yen. I'm like, oh, come on, that's bullshit. Although that restaurant, I think that restaurant in particular, on the menu it does show the prices. It shows the price exclusive of GST, then in brackets the price inclusive of GST, I think. I think now there's a law where they can still advertise it exclusive of GST, but they do have to say in brackets plus tax. And the tax is the kanji for tax, so I didn't know what the kanji was, so I was misled. So that's kind of more my fault than anyone else's fault. But, you know, it's like, basically you look at the big price, right, when they do big advertisements and billboards and stuff. The big price is exclusive of GST, and then in very small font, they've got plus tax. I'm like, fuck off, don't give me that bullshit. Man. Anyway, now with that gyoza place, one good thing was I became a gyoza well, it wasn't really gyoza, but there's pictures of gyoza on the card. I got a VIP card because I'm such a good customer, and it gave me a 5% discount off the entire bill. That was great for me because at the time the tax was 5%. So when I looked at the menu, I just ignored I didn't have to, like, add up tax in my head. I just said, okay, 200 yen for gyoza? Right, it's 200 yen for gyoza, done. I didn't have to worry about tax, because whatever the tax was would be negated by my VIP card. Now, it's kind of a sticky situation, because the VIP card gives me a 5% discount, but the consumption tax is 8%. So I still have to pay an extra 3% in tax, which is a pain in the butt. But what can you do? Another example of this is 100 stores or 100 yen stores. They used to be called 100 yen stores. They're not allowed to call themselves that anymore. You wanna know why? Because the stuff in their store isn't 100 yen. It's advertised as 100 yen in the store, but when you go to buy it, it's actually it used to be 105 yen, now it's 108 yen. 108 yen is a real pain in the ass because it means you've either got to have the 3 yen in change or you've got to get 2 yen back. It's a right pain in the butthole, but what can you do? It almost makes me want the 10% tax because then at least it'll be even. But no, that's even worse because now I'm paying more money for everything. But yeah, they used to be called 100 yen stores. There is a store in the city though that still has a giant 100 yen on it. Wonder how they get away with that, because they're not allowed to say that anymore. They have to say, like, what do they call themselves now? I can't remember. But like sushi, which used to be like 100 yen for, you know, a plate of sushi, you know, now they always advertise it's 105 yen now, and things like that. But whenever there's like a super huge discount, they do the super huge discount excluding of tax, so the discount looks even better. But then when you go to actually buy it, you know, it's actually more expensive. Another good point of this is like airlines. Like there's a really popular airline that like opened maybe 5-6 years ago in Japan. That's also an Australian airline, and they do really cheap flights from Australia to Japan. And on the Australian website, when you look at prices, if it says it's $500 one way, then it's $500 one way. This, of course, isn't including if you want to buy, you know, in-flight meals, or you want to reserve your seat, or any of the other bullshit. But as far as petrol fees, taxes, whatever is concerned, if you don't want any extras, then all you pay is $500. If you go to the Japanese site, first of all, the prices are slightly different, but let's say the end price is going to be the same. It's going to be $500, or in this case, we'll say the exchange rate's 100 yen to the dollar, and if so, it will be Goman N, which is 50,000. Yes, 50,000 yen. Whenever I think of Japanese yen, I think in Japanese, which makes it really difficult when I try to translate it into English. So 50,000 yen, right? But it won't advertise it as 50,000 yen. It'll advertise it as something amazing like 10,000 yen, like $100 one way. And you're like, holy shit, $100 one way? That's awesome! Quick, buy the ticket before it goes away. And then when you get to the screen to buy, it says, oh, by the way, there's this tax, and you've got to pay for petrol, and you've got to pay for this, and this, and this, and this, and it ends up being $500 anyway. So the advertised price is like a fifth, or sometimes less than that, sometimes a tenth of the actual price, and it's really freaking misleading. It's a pain in the asshole. I wish they didn't do that, but you know, what can you do? Yes, that's Japan. You know, just really misleading in their advertisement. And they can get away with it, which is a real shame. I guess they don't have the same sort of consumer watchdog or consumer laws that Australia does. I'm sure America is the same as Australia. I don't think America, you can sort of get away with that sort of bullshit, like having, like, you know, not showing the unit price in a grocery store, and also not showing how much product is in the packet, which is just ridiculous. It's like, you have to tell me this stuff. They've got the nutritional information and stuff, and it says, you know, how much nutritional value per what do they call it? Is it portion size? Like this bottle of water, it's got per 100 ml, the contents per 100 ml, which is great. What about how much is the whole bottle? Although this does say 505. Let's have a look at this bottle of Coke. Does the bottle of Coke say? It says per 100 ml. That one does say 500. Yes. Okay, what about this bottle of water? Oh, this is an Australian bottle of water, so obviously it does say 600. That's interesting. These two bottles of water are comparatively... Oh no, this one's slightly bigger. Now the Australian bottle's like 600 ml, and the Japanese ones... Generally Japanese bottles are 500 ml. Sometimes they're 500 and... Well, this one's 550, which is a bit odd. Usually they're 500. And they always say 500 on the bottle, but they're really different shapes and sizes, so I don't actually think they're the same size. Some of them are like tall but skinny. I guess that's kind of maybe to mislead you again more, but you know, whatever. Anyway, that's enough about, you know, misleading product advertisement in Japan. When we come back, I'll have something else to talk about, and we'll still be fast traveling. But for now, my name is Leo, and I'll see you next time.